So this morning I want to teach you how you can install a PC keyboard on your phone. That's a keyboard that you'll be able to use for just like a laptop keyboard. This keyboard has a control, has a shift, has a tab, has space, and you can use Control A, Control B, Control C, Control Z, Control Y. Just the way you use your normal laptop or desktop keyboard. These are you use this keyboard. So I'll just I had it on my phone before, but I had to install it to make this tutorial look very real and very insightful. So first of all, I'll go on YouTube and on Play Store and install and show you how to install and set up this keyboard, because it's not only about installing it, you have to set it up also to be able to function according to the way you want it. So I'll show you how I do set up my own for my own use, and maybe in between, after you've learned how to set it up, you can also change it to your own preference. You get? So the name of this keyboard is Hackers Keyboard. So I'll just start afresh from the starting so that you know how to do it. So you can see Hackers Keyboard. I'll just do everything afresh just to make it look insightful. Hackers Keyboard. I've clicked on it and this is it. So credits to whoever did this keyboard, like maximum credits to this man, Class Winder. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name well, but all credits to him sincerely, because this keyboard has helped me. So I'll just click on install and just wait for it to run. So just wait for the keyboard to run. So since the keyboard is installed now, I click on open, and this is the interface I come in. So in order for you to set up this keyboard, you can follow up this guideline you are seeing here now. You can follow up this guideline, and this will help you know how to go about everything in setting it up. But should this not be clear enough, I will run you through a few things you need to know on this keyboard. So if you check it now, this is my normal keyboard that is showing on my phone. That's my normal keyboard you just saw now. So in order to make sure that this keyboard is the keyboard that it's working properly, we have to go through the instructions. Say open the system settings, pressing enable keyboard button above. So we'll go and do that first. Click enable keyboard. So if you see now, you see Hackers Keyboard is off. So I'll toggle it on, and you see input method may able to call text type. Yeah, just okay and everything. You start your phone and have screenshot set. Just okay. Just accept everything that shows up there. So once we are done with that, we go to find Hackers Keyboard in the input method list. So we go to the input method now. If you look at here, you see the input method here. So I'll click on that now. Click on that, and you see I'm having G keyboard. This G keyboard is Google keyboard. Google keyboard that came with my phone and the Hackers Keyboard. So I'm going to toggle the Hackers Keyboard on. You get me now? So I've toggled the Hackers Keyboard on. So should I click on this test now? Click on this test. You see that the keyboard has popped up. So this is my keyboard now. You see this keyboard is actually different from my Google keyboard. So if I click my Google keyboard, this is the keyboard you see. Then should I go back and click on my Hackers Keyboard? This is the keyboard that you see. So these two keyboards now are absolutely different. But you see the power of this keyboard now. You can type GXY, GSJ and Control A, and you select and you click. You can be able to select with Shift. You can unselect, select like that. You understand? Almost everything works just like your normal keyboard. You can delete and press Control Z and everything comes back. You saw what I just did now. Control Z and everything comes back. And you can click Control Y and everything goes. Like should you make a mistake, you delete it. You can say you can use your Control Z to bring everything back, and use your Control Y to take it off again. Understand? It's not working here, but in the use, you see how it's going to work. So that's the effect of this keyboard. So in order to set this keyboard up, you need to go and download the dictionary of this keyboard, because whenever you are using this keyboard, they will require you sometimes you need to, maybe as you are typing now, if you're typing stuff on your phone, should you download this keyboard afresh, like in a brand new phone, these suggestions won't be showing up. These suggestions you are seeing and I won't be showing up. So in order for you to be able to put these suggestions on this phone, you have to go back to Google Play Store and install the dictionary of this keyboard. So we'll go to Hackers Keyboard and just say Hackers Dictionary. Just type it out, dictionary. See dictionary already showing up there. So I'll select that and just click on it and it will pop up. So if you see now, this dictionary is available to so many people. You see my own is already showing installed there, even though I haven't installed it. but and there's also Italian keyboard here. So and if you go through, you see the keyboard of so many other countries for this particular for so many other language for this particular keyboard. So just go around and look for the one that belongs to your country and install. So for here, you install English one. Mine is already showing installed. So for me to uninstall it, so if you yours is showing, should you be a first timer, yours should be showing install. So just click on install and install it there. So now going to the setting of this keyboard now. After you've installed it, go back to here and you click on settings, and that's your settings there. So you click on these settings and it will bring you to this interface. Like I said, mine is see some of my settings. I actually uninstalled my own but and started this tutorial afresh, but it seems some of the settings are still showing on mine. So as a first timer of this keyboard, these informations that you are seeing here will not tally. This information you are seeing 30%, 30%, 70% and everything, they won't tally. So as a first timer, you have to make sure that your keyboard is showing according to what I'm doing here. So just follow up my settings now. You see that this one is showing 30%. That's keyboard height 30%. Keyboard height for the portrait 30%. While keyboard height for the landscape 30%. That's what they're making the keyboard landscape like this. You understand? Then you put it at 75%. Then the height of the keyboard like this also, you set it at 30%. So just put all of this in. Then finally come to this keyboard mode that I'm showing you here. This keyboard mode, these two settings now, and make them full 5-row layout. I know why I'm telling you this, because if you don't make it like this, your keyboard will be different. So let me just do a little sample. You see mine is showing full row layout now. Should I click 4-row gingerbread, and I go back to my settings, you see my keyboard has changed. You get now? My keyboard has changed, just like my normal Google keyboard, and it's no longer showing me control and the rest and all those other functions. And that's not what I want. I want to be able to use control and everything. So in doing that, you go back and you make sure that this thing is in 4-row layout. Testing out this other one, this 5-row layout, USQWERTW only. You see, if I go back now, I'll test the keyboard. You see how it's looking now. You see how messed up it's a bit. It looks. It's not as refined as I want. It's not as refined as I want. So I wouldn't want something like that. So you have to make sure that you are sticking to these settings just to make sure that everything works perfectly for you. So make sure you click 5-row layout, and even on this one too, click 5-row layout just to make everything look perfect. Now the next setting we want to talk about is also keep this. Should you install your own and you are seeing a different setting on this part, keep it just the way you see mine now. Make sure that this place is unmarked. This place is unmarked, and just leave everything like that. So going upward, the other settings I want, keep all these marked, your auto capitalization, so that the keyboard will auto capitalize whatever you're marking, and this double tap to shift. Just keep all these settings like this. Keep all these settings like this. Then now we'll go into this feedback. What this feedback means is that whenever you are using your keyboard, what kind of sound should it be making? What kind of pop-up sound should your keyboard be making? So you have to set it up on this feedback and vibration. So you see on mine now, I don't know, you might want a different preference, but this is the preference that I've noticed that works for me. So I keep my keyboard the click volume of the keyboard, I keep it at 0. Then the vibration, I keep it at 5 ms. That should be a terminology for vibration, but I can't really get it now. So but just keep it 5 ms. But should you notice that you want something much better, you can change yours, but I prefer this one. Then this pop-up keep up, just keep it marked like this. Just keep it marked like this, and you're good to go. So still going forward also for this keyboard, one disadvantage of this keyboard is that using sliding, slide typing, when you want to type and you are sliding on Google. Yeah, this keyboard has it, but it's not as advanced as the one of Google. So I wouldn't want you to do that, but just keep all these things ticked. You want to show your suggestions, your suggestions. You want something like that too. So to show you suggestions, you want it, you have to toggle it as marked. You have to mark it and keep it as an autocomplete also. Have all of that. So that's all you will need for this keyboard. So once done, you see that your keyboard will be looking like the one you are seeing on my screen now. The keyboard will be looking just like this. So let's go and do a practical example of this keyboard. So we'll go to on Microsoft Word. I'm using Microsoft Office, one of the best Office app you can see out there on for your phone. I know we have WPS that is still good, but you can't compare it to the originators. You understand? They're just the best. So I will go on Microsoft Word now and I'll just open one file that we can mess around with. So you see the power of this app. So let me just look for one file we can mess around with. Okay, let me just create a file. Create a file. So I'll create a blank. Okay. So I'll create a blank. Then I'll just type stuff there. Let me just type stuff there. Boy. Just type stuff there. Just random stuff. Boy, girl. Just random stuff. Just for the sake of the exercise. Women. Just put women. Just like that. So now, women. So should I put Control A? Should I put Control A? Uh okay, try Control A. You see that my Control A is not working, so I'll go on the keyboard and do some settings. I think something is missing there. So you come on here, you come on here. This you see my Control A is disabled, so I will have to enable it. Just click. You see my disable. I accept to disable Control A, and I'm using Control Alt A. Understand? So I will enable Control A. So I will say use Control A override. So I accept to use Control A, and I'll go back. You see how the settings of this keyboard matters a lot. So you have to mess around it and know what works for you. So you see Control A has worked. Now you see initially it wasn't working, but just because I haven't added it to it, it wasn't working. So I've Control A and I've mistakenly deleted it. So I'll do Control Z. And you see that everything came back. And I will delete something, and I'll use Control Y, Control Y. You see, no, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y, Control Y. You see how it's going. Then Control Z, Control Z is bringing everything back. Sorry, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, just till it starts bringing it back. You see everything is coming back now. So you have to do the Control Z as much as you need to do it just to get everything back. So this keyboard is the best out there. So you can use Control A to get everything, to select everything you want to select. Then you delete. You understand? You delete. Then you can type whatever you want. Then you say Control Z, Control Z. Then to use your tab, to use your tab, to use your tab, you go on here to, let's put girl. There are some things I've learned from this keyboard over time, and I'll just do that, just show you those little trick, because sometimes you need you these things you can only learn them after a continuous usage. So I want to experiment with the tab now. So I'm pressing on the tab button. Tab, 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 tab. You see how the keyboard is working with tab, moving with tab, moving with tab, moving with tab. You get. But now there's something I noticed, and I've been able to, is a problem, and I've gotten the solution to it, so you don't need to worry about it. When I didn't know the solution at first, I struggled with it, but now I've kind of saved you that stress. You get. I've saved you that stress. So I'll just do something. I'll select, no, I won't, let me use my keyboard. So I'll use Control A to select all, and I'll use Control C to copy. Then I'll paste this keyboard. Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V, Control V. Just paste it like that. And now I'm having this keyboard, all of this like this. So there's something I noticed over time. Should you want to use Control, should you want to use Control, you want to use your tab. If you press your tab multiple times, it scatters the formatting of your phone. Like your phone, should you maybe you are working on a file, and the file has an initial format that came with it. Maybe Microsoft Word now. There's a format that came with the file. You get now. So should you want to like use your tab, you realize that everything will be moving on your phone. Yeah, you saw something now. If you have to be a PC, if I use one tab, then two tab, it would have continued to keep moving. You understand? But now there's an issue that you see how where this stuff has jumped to now. This, let me try and see if I can indicate that where this has jumped to now. There's a little space there that is pushing, all of the settings are going towards one side, and that's a problem. But I've been able to to devise a solution to that. So just notice what's going on now, and I'll do it again, and you see the difference. The difference, you see how all the settings, how everything is pushing towards one side. That's not how it should be. The text should just be moving by themselves and keeping this space. This space should just be showing. Why the text will, this The only difference we should be seeing is just this space that should be there. Why all of the text, these ones you are seeing here now, are supposed to be just like this, but it isn't like that. Why? Because there's an issue with the keyboard. But I've been able to get the solution to it over time. So please, this is very important. This is very important. So I'll just Control Z, and take everything back to the initial way, and I'll show you how to go around this. So in order to go around this, you put, before you press your tab. Now I'm pressing my tab now. Everything is moving anyhow. See how everything is moving. Just take note of how everything is moving. So instead of doing that, before I press my tab, I need to first press space. Just one space is enough before I start pressing the tab. So now I've pressed my space, one space. Let me just press one space. Then I'll press tab, 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 tab. You see the difference between the two scenarios now. You see the difference between two scenarios now. You see how it's every text is on its own. Here has been retained, just the way I illustrated previously. All these texts, they are still on their left align. You understand why this one is the only one moving? You get now? But in that former scenario, that former example I was showing, it wasn't like that. So you just have to make sure that you are pressing your your space bar first, just one space bar, before you start using your tab. Don't worry, it won't affect anything. I've been using it for almost 5 to 6 months now, and it's working perfect. All you just need to do is just add down one space, then you input your tab, and you'll be just fine. Now, still on this page now, this one has to be very close up so you can see the issue with this keyboard now. So this issue is about using apostrophe and quotes. So I'll use a shift to get my apostrophe. That's my apostrophe there. You see my apostrophe is a called apostrophe. So I'll bring my second apostrophe there and put it here. So you see I have my two apostrophe. Then I'll put my contraction sign. This is my contraction sign. You see they are having a coiled contraction sign. Now, I don't know for you or for any other person, but there might be some people who wouldn't want a coiled apostrophe or a coiled quotation sign. They want a straight apostrophe and a straight quotation sign. So in order to rectify this, the only way to rectify this now is to follow this little hack. So whenever you put your apostrophe, if you look closely, you notice that two things happen. The straight apostrophe actually came out, then it immediately turned into a coiled apostrophe. So I'll go delete and I'll say straight apostrophe, because according to my keyboard, I'm having a straight apostrophe on the keyboard. But when it gets to Microsoft Office, it turns into coil. So I'll try it again. You see, I don't know if you notice there was a very swift change in the apostrophe sign. So in order to rectify this now, you have to go apostrophe, change, then you press backward. Notice where the backward is. This button. You press backward. So I'll cancel that, then show you again. Now I'll press backward. You see what happened now? The called apostrophe has not changed to a straight quote. The called quote has not changed to a straight quote. So this is how you maneuver your way around using this keyboard. So I'll go again, try it again for the other quote. Use this other one. You see this other one now? The same thing has happened. It has called back again. So I'll go backward one more time. I see that's not into a straight quote. And I'll do it with the contraction sign, contraction. You see it has changed, and I go back again. It has turned to a straight contraction. So that's all you need to know about this keyboard, and you'll be just fine. But this is the best desktop keyboard you can see out there, and I know there's no other place you can get a keyboard like this apart from the one that is on Google Play Store. So any other phone, any other style you see of keyboard, they might work. I don't know, but this has been the one that has been saving me, and all credits to the owner. It's according to when I read about the history of this keyboard, it's been a long time they did an upgrade of this keyboard. So this keyboard has just been there, and if you check the review, so many people are just pouring their hearts on this keyboard. So just go out there, get this keyboard, mess around with it, and you can thank me later for exposing the secret. But I'm not the originator, so you can thank the originator much more than you thank me. So have a great day. Bye bye.